This is the Natural Sciences building of the University of Cape Coast. It functions as lecture theatres, offices, labs for students and lecturers respectively. Both students and lecturers make use of internet service in the building. Well, our focus is not on the usage of internet. Rather, it is on the disorganized nature of the internet cables that have been laid in the Sciences building. We are currently inside the building, and this corridor leads to the Fisheries and Chemistry department. For internet connectivity in this building, it depends largely on these cables that are hanging dangerously here. Some are so close to human heights, and at a glance, one might think that it does not pose any problem. Assuming that these cables should fall off all of a sudden, then what would be the outcome? Would it not disrupt activities here? Well, we speak to some students on the issue to know their views.
I don't usually feel safe when I'm using this corridor. You know, the first day that I walked here, I just bent down like that, and assuming I was talking and I had to raise my hand, maybe I could get shocked or something. So.
Please, how about you? Do you feel safe?
I don't think it's very safe because looking at this chair, let's say one day someone mistakenly pushes it, then the wires fall down. It means no one can use this route. The first day I came to this school and I was passing by, I was like, really? Because you could see that the wires are very low on the corridor, which means that at any time, any point in time, anything can happen and cause them to fall. But I haven't really reported to anyone yet.
Okay, please, how about you?
No, I've not really reported to anybody.
But then you have a problem with this?
I really have a problem with this. The authorities should do something, you know, they should have poles around and then just lift this thing really up above this thing.
They should do something about it because they can't let it be here. And also, I don't think it's safe for it should be inside the corridor. So I think maybe if they can raise it a little bit higher, it would be good. Because for someone who is very tall, when you get here, you have to bend down to be able to pass.
Speaking to Mr. Ade, a network personnel in the University of Cape Coast, he gave his concerns about the issue.
Yeah, most of the cables that are hanging, especially in the walkways, they are, they hinder students' movement, even us too. Remember, I was sharing an incident I had with I was just walking, you know, I'm tall. Then I happened to find one of the cables around my neck. I was like, what kind of cable is that? Only to know that it's one of those telephone lines. That's right. So there are indeed menace in the university, especially in our walkways, right? From engineering perspective, there is always the best practice, and sometimes you get to the field and you will notice that the best practice cannot be because of some of the reasons. So you have to improvise, and in so doing, you have to look at some of the things. But some of these cables are not actually laid well, and that's why they're actually crisscrossing in the path of. You can actually lay them by the alley instead of across the alley. And if you want to buy something, you have to go up or across the alley. There's always a nice way to doing it than this. 2 years ago, we started identifying some of these cables. Some used to be power, and then some of our Ethernet cables were, I remember there was one cable leading from the NOC to the auditorium. We had to also find its way across the alley. So we saw that it wasn't the best of a way to lay cables. So we took it upon ourselves to tell the exchange people to also contact Vodafone to come and lay there. So we removed all ours and now replaced them with fiber cables, as you can see down there through to the auditorium. So there are best ways to doing it. We've told them, and 2 years ago they started working. When you look behind the chemistry labs, they started replacing them and then actually extending them. I don't know what happened, but I think that as you have taken it up, you can also champion that, right?
We just had an interview with a network engineer of the university, and he has made certain remarks. So we hope that it will be channeled to the right authority for something to be done as soon as possible.